Hello, everyone. Today is Friday. I took a little bit of a week off doing my videos. Just wasn't really feeling it, honestly. Admittedly, it was kind of a rough start to the week as well, so I was a little jaded. My crypto trade did not work out very well. I don't think I called it incorrectly. I think I just got in too early, maybe a little too leveraged, and I got smoked early on Monday when we had a reversal in the futures market. The good news is, though, not going to really go over the crypto trade because I was in a bunch of things. They all reversed, so it doesn't really matter. But made it. This is, you got to always bounce back, guys, because all my losses, and I had a pretty decent loss on crypto earlier this week. I literally made all of that back in one day off a huge trade on USAR. So our money team, we were all pretty disappointed with how the way crypto worked out. I don't think my number one mistake I've always made with crypto is I nail it. I nail where it's going, but I get the timing off by even a couple, just getting the timing off a little bit, right? Getting shaken out of the trade is a classic. And, many traders will relate to that, right? Because sometimes I nail the timing perfectly and it prints in spades. And there's other times where you get a little shaken out from the volatility, getting unfortunately trapped during a reversal. And then, of course, it recovers once you get out. The best thing to do in times like that is just to slow down. I took a day off on Tuesday. I didn't even really trade. I think it was Tuesday. I took the day off completely. Um, and then opportunities started revealing themselves again. The market starts calling you back, saying, no, 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 don't go away. I'll be nice to you. I promise. And we found USAR. So USAR was a great trade. I don't think I'm going to get into that too much either, but basically caught a confirmed breakout. We all loaded in the money team at around $22. And this thing took off like a rocket ship on Thursday. Um, Now, truthfully, today I got shook out again on that trade. Now, I was in deep profit. It didn't matter. Um, but it was kind of frustrating because we dumped hard this morning and then it looked like it was bear flagging. So I got out of my position and then it ended up just full V-shape recovering. And I actually did get back in on the back test around 25.80. And the reason I did that, I don't generally like to get back into trades once I get out, but I'm not an emotional guy, or I try not to be. So at least when it comes to trading, so if I see a technical reason to get back into a trade, I will do it. And what we needed from USAR today was we needed the buyers to step in and defend support. We don't want to be we didn't want a big dump today. And it looked like we were doing that earlier on. So I got out, I kind of front ran it. Some of my stops got hit. I don't regret the decision because so many times I've done that and it went way lower. Like most of the time it does. But this was like the 1 in 10 exception where I got kind of stopped out at the bottom and I got back in. So I'm already up in that new position, like 3 or 4%. I'm liking USAR a lot. I've got no qualms about it going into, make sure my microphone's on. Yes. Going into next week. I'm in a smaller position. That's my one caveat, guys. If I go right back into a position after I get kicked out, even if I'm going back in with technical conviction, I still go in with smaller size. It's just the right discipline thing to do. You don't want to be over trading positions once you're out and then you're giving back gains. It gets messy. But I don't want to talk about crypto. I don't want to talk about USAR, even the big win this week, USAR. I'm going to put that on the side. We made a lot of money in the money team. And this is the thing, even after a bad start of the week, we're persistent, we stay disciplined, we cut our losers quick, and we get right back in the ring and we start riding up our portfolios again. So it ended up being a very profitable week. Lots of wins in the Discord. I'm gonna do I think a video soon on my Discord to show you some of the receipts, showing some of the commentary, and because it's one thing for me to tell you this, but when I can show you graphics of people saying another banger, made this much today, I've already paid for my membership for a year. That's not only validating to me, but it should be hopefully um, valuable to you guys who are on sitting on the sidelines and wondering, you're in the market and you're missing moves all the time, or you're scared to get into a trade because you just don't have the confidence or the leadership. So hopefully, just showing you that there's people in your position as well in my team. And we're doing coffee hours every day, almost when the market closes. I go over all the trades. So you're never trading alone. You never feel like I'm kind of off. I've screwed off somewhere and I'm not at your side. If a trade's ever rocky, I'll come out and say, here's what we're doing with it. Here's how we're managing the volatility. So this is a constant, we're constantly engaged with each other in the money team. This is not something where I disappear for a few days and the market goes down, you're down in your portfolio and you're panicking, where did I go? I'm always here, right? Even when I'm not here, I'm here, right? Like a Tuesday when I took the day off, I was still present and we did a nice long hour stream after the market closed to go over all the swing trades and we bounced back hard in the second half of the week. I want to talk about Nvidia right now. This is the thesis of my video. You go to my Nvidia chart And Nvidia is very interesting right now. I'm split on it. I am in calls on Nvidia. I got in today around 190, high 198, so I'm slightly down on this position going into the weekend. I'm going to give you kind of like the bear and bull case on Nvidia. I'm going to start with the bull case. I'm actually leaning maybe a little more bearish on it, unfortunately, but uh, I'm in calls. I'm giving it a chance. And you could say, Parker, you're leaning bearish. Why even bother? Because I know this thing, if it doesn't hold 197, it's done. And we're $2 away from that. So at worst, I'm going to lose like maybe 10%, 5% on these options. It's worth taking a chance in case this does want to go to new all-time highs. And here's the bull case for the new all-time highs in the month of May. Historically, since Nvidia really started going parabolic, this was basically about 2023. I'm going to go actually to a monthly chart. It'll make it easier. You will notice something. I mean, this is an incredible chart. I know Nvidia has really done nothing for almost a year now, but what do you guys notice? Well, you're not going to notice it. These are just candles to you. This is May of 2025. That was, the tariff lows. I should have been way better at my TA. This was such an obvious buy on the market on Nvidia. This candle close, you just literally load in your whole portfolio. I'm joking. Don't do that. You load it here, and it's just a rocket ship. That was a classic hammer candle, like just a textbook hammer candle, doji candle, buyer's candle, signaling major reversal. And you got three solid green bars of price action. And now we've been consolidating. So I'm going to give two arguments on Nvidia, okay? So that's the bull case. May 2025, we were up basically about 20%. What did May of 2024 do? The one big green candle that year. We were about 29%. They always report in middle of May, right? So there's a reason why May tends to be a good month. It coincides with a pretty big earnings report. You're halfway through the year. And then we go to May of 2023, even like, again, some decent price action. And then boom, May of 2023, guys. Basically 35%. So May, I mean, there's obviously been other good months, but May stands out as an expansion candle month. So I just want to give that consideration. And that's why I still want to have some level of bullishness. Okay, so that's the bull case in favor of Nvidia. There's one more bull case I want to bring up, but I want to get to the bear case to rotate back to my bull case, and I'll explain what I mean by that. Okay, here's the bear case that you need to be concerned about. We have a bearish engulfing candle that just closed on the weekly chart. We opened above the close of the previous week, and then we closed this week below the open of the previous week. So that's like a textbook bearish engulfing candle. You can't get more textbook than that. We had a 4-bar surge. We have this reversal candle. It's a 2-candle pattern. Some traders will wait for confirmation of a third candle to close beneath the low. For me, I've just seen way too many fake outs. Like not too many fake outs. The move is maybe almost fully booked by the time you wait for a confirmation. So if you were to short Nvidia, it would be like now. Basically, you'd go now. If you're really bearish, I'm not going to short it. If it goes down, I'm just going to let it go personally. I don't think I'm going to I don't think I'm going to take puts down in Nvidia. The market's been too strong, and that's the thing. When you're in a dominant uptrend, even a bearish candle like this can get invalidated very quickly because you're in a bullish market. And the other thing, now going back to my bull case, we had an engulfing candle here on the monthly chart actually. So you would have thought this is a top on Nvidia, and it could still very well be because this was actually all of this price action since December is bearish inside bar. We've never closed above the high 211 basically of this candle. So there's an argument to be made that Nvidia is topping out. So I'm going to still take the position because my cost basis on this is super, like it's 198 basically. I had someone message me today. I won't mention their name, but they literally bought the top and then they went to work and weren't paying attention. Like big mistake. I mean, they were in short-term options. Like there's so many mistakes there. I say that with love, but if you can relate to that, guys, you don't buy tops and then leave a trade alone. If you're going to do that, you got to put in a very tight stop in, at least if you're whether you're trading with your full attention or you're working, tight stop, because the risk reward was just terrible buying it up here. So I'm taking good risk reward here. If it breaks support right here at 197, it's game over. I'm not gonna buy the dip. So that's something to keep in mind on Nvidia. The one thing that concerns me though about this chart and about the weekly chart as well, actually you can see it a little better with the weekly chart. You have these bunny ear sort of double top thing that's very reminiscent of Microsoft last year, right? Classic double top. You know, we the neckline of the double top was at 492, and we actually broke the neckline. We actually retraced it for multiple weeks and then totally rolled over. There's always a risk that Nvidia is about to do that. I don't really know why it would do that. That's where I'm like, what's the catalyst? Are the earnings going to be really terrible? Is there just massive like institutional profit taking? But why? Big tech is running. SanDisk is putting in new highs. Micron's killing it. Doesn't make sense. May is a historically bullish month. So there's historical data that contradicts the technicals. So mixed signal setups are higher risk, guys. I want you to be mindful of that. When you're going into a trade and you're getting mixed signals, just go in with control your position size. That's what I would say about Nvidia. I'm not saying stay away from it, but I'm saying control your position size until we really know what this is doing. Yeah, so those are my thoughts on Nvidia. It's cautious. We need to be really careful. This could be a double top at 213. We pierced it. We faked out the bulls that it was a breakout, and then we got sold into. These red candles usually lead to continuation. That's all I'm saying. I got in with some options on it, and I will be paper hands with it if this goes below 195 would be my line in the sand for a wick, like a cross of price. I'm not going to get faked out from a quick dip below 197.50, but if we were to close below that, I think I just cut the trade. Even if it were to reverse the next day, I think I just leave it. I really want to see that level hold on a daily close basis. So that's Nvidia. Now, one thing I also did and I want to talk about is I started my leap sheet. I'm building a leap sheet in my money team. And if you don't know what my money team is, it's my private Discord that's available if you through Stocks with Josh. You can subscribe to Josh's Discord, which is great, and I highly recommend you do so. In addition to that, or alternatively, you have the option to join my Discord. You have minimal access to some of his features, but it's pretty much access to all my channels. And if you do that, you get access to my leap sheet. Josh also has a great leap sheet as well. These are going to be my plays, companies that I value more from a technical standpoint than a fundamental standpoint. But I'm going to be doing longer swings. So if you work like a full-time job and you don't have time to be even doing like 1 to 3 day swing trades, you just want to buy things, kind of set it, forget it for maybe a few months and circle back and check in on it week to week, right? See how it's going. That's what my leap sheet's really going to appeal to, right? And I'm being patient with it. I'm not really getting into things that have run up already like 300%. I mean, those are great too. I mean, they're really good momentum trades, but they can reverse next week and then you're stuck holding the bag. I'm buying things that are on their lows and are technically showing me signs of maybe a reversal in the next month to maybe even a year. And I'm going to get to my top pick. Guys are going to roll your eyes, but I'm not saying it's breaking out now, but I'm going to give this thing a year. This thing, I would say at least 6 months to a year to really take off, and it's VST. This actually went into my leap sheet. I'm going to be publishing it in the money team within the next week or two, but I did put a buy alert today in the Discord that I bought VST today on this down day. I'm down a little bit on it right now. No big deal. This thing has just consolidated, but not bearishly. This is not a bearish pattern. This is very much, it's doing two things, and we're on a weekly chart. It's a rounded bottom potentially forming. Now, it's not fully formed, guys, so I'm front running it. But would you rather front run it up here or up here when it also isn't fully formed? We're only going to know if this is a true rounded bottom once we're above this 215 neckline. So there's tons of upside here. If you basically close a weekly candle below the low of this, 140 basically, the trade's invalidated. We're not that far away. I don't think VST is going really any lower than 140. They have earnings next week. I don't have any bearish sentiments toward the earnings. If anything, I think they'll go up. Worst case, they'll go sideways. What I would expect, I'm sort of leaning more towards VST will go sideways because this is a rounded bottom. And this could just consolidate for a while and then kind of make its way up over the next 3 to 4 months. Now, what this could also be forming, it's also a rounded bottom as well, is this is the cup of a cup and handle pattern. So we're going to come up to 215 within the next few months. We're going to consolidate over the next month. Again, I might even take profit up here on my leaps, knowing that this should consolidate. I'll come back to about this 180. You can see we've got a lot of support here. That's probably where we'll bottom on this descending channel. And then I would expect once we break this, we would have a measured move of approximately, we take 140 to the neckline, you know, about a 285 VST. I mean, this is such an undervalued stock. The reason why VST has done nothing for several months is because it's a utility. And the utilities are very rate sensitive stocks. They take on they need to do a lot of financing to finance their infrastructure. They usually pay dividends as well. So again, lower rates, you make it more enticing to have, because to buy dividend stocks. So it just is, it's in a bad macro climate right now, why this stock isn't really doing anything. Micron's not really a dividend stock. I just pure growth, right? This is more of a value play. And it's kind of like a UNH or something. You're going to have to be super patient. So don't, if we go 2 weeks with this thing and it's just gone sideways, you need to have long-term options. So I give the option contract that I bought. I give all the Greeks, my entries, my exits. I'm not going to have a stop loss on this really, because it's a leap. It's got lots of time to it. Obviously, if this capitulates completely and it were to go below 140, I just manually would just sell the position at that point and be like probably a 30% loss or something. But like the chances of VST, in my opinion, going under this, less than 10%. I'm thinking the extreme high probability long term, this is over $250. Like no problem. So, this is a patient trade. I love these types of swing trades. If you got a job or you work in sales or you're a doctor or lawyer or whatever, and you just don't have time, VST, set it and forget it. Right between 150 and 160, you're good to go. That's my opinion. It's not financial advice, of course, but technically, this is gearing up for a move. Probably next year, I would expect when rates start coming down properly, this could go parabolic. This could go to $400. I truly believe that. Um, so it's a bullet. This is bullish, guys. This is rounding out. It'll probably flag around the end of the year, maybe in the late summer, and then it should start breaking out probably around Christmas. So VST is in the leap sheet. I also want to bring to your attention another one that should do well in a lower rate environment, and then I'm going to end the video. And it's BBAI. It's another one that's in my leap sheet. Again, these are things that no one wants right now. They're boring, guys. I get it. I get it. We all want to make money quickly, and I like to make money quickly too. But that's why I do swing trading, short momentum trade swings. We did Micron today. We made 15%. I should have made more. I sold it a little too soon, but 15 to 30% if you held it to the end of the day. So we're just killing it with the momentum trades, generally speaking, unless it's crypto. But BBAI looks very interesting. We've got actually a MACD cross up that's about to occur here. We actually just crossed above this RSI line. And the last time we did that, good things happened. Okay. BBAI, I don't see it really going any lower than this $3. We hit the 200-week moving average. This is actually kind of an inverse head and shoulders. I would expect, this year, bear case is $5 on BBAI. Bear case. Okay. I just don't see why this thing is going to go any more into despair. It already has. It looks really good. It actually looks I brought this to my money team the other day. I said, this actually looks very similar to what this was. No one wanted it back in March, tariff lows, all that, right? And then we consolidated, and guys, it got above that 200 week, and then it exploded. It literally took 2 weeks to get up here to $9. And that's how BBI will work. It'll just suddenly start moving, and probably on a down day in the market, by the way, when Micron's down and SanDisk is down, and everyone's going to start getting FOMO, guys, and I refuse to get FOMO on this trade. It sucks right now because it's not doing much, but we're getting ready. I really believe BBAI. Look at these candles. We had a pretty bad reversal, but the bulls fought back quickly today and got back above $4. So we hold $4 for next week. I'm gearing up. I'm buying more of this. I'm already in with about a little bit of money, but I'm gonna be scaling if this holds $4. And Josh said the same thing in his video, and we're on the same page there. Long term, we're probably up around $8 probably this year is where I think it's going. If the market has to remain in a bullish stance, which I'm now of the camp it will. Technically, I don't see breakdown in this market like I did earlier. And yeah, long term, we've got, we can do fib extensions. There's people who say $20, $30, maybe even $50, but I'm not going to get excited here. BBAI, it's sleeping right now. I think there's an opportunity maybe within the next month, this thing will start really getting moving up to maybe about $8. So we'll have to circle back to this in a month and see if I'm right. But I like BBAI. I alerted it today at the bottom around 380. We all got in. So we're all up on this position right now. And I'm just going to start dollar cost averaging while it's hovering in the low fours, high threes. I don't think we're going much lower than like 360. 380 would be my worst case. We have earnings coming up. You know, my options are January of 2028. So they've got plenty of time. The decay is a non-factor. So those are the plays I wanted to go over today. I think Nvidia, we got to pay attention to because it represents a lot of the market, though that's becoming less true now because Micron seems to be driving up the market. That's why every day the market's up because Micron's up every day. I mean, look at this. Again, another obvious buy. I should have seen this. Stupid. Hammer candle, load up. You're in at 360 and whoop, look at that move. The pullback on Micron is probably about 480 if we get a little pullback in the market. Remember that. SanDisk as well. I want to just mention this really quick and I'm going to end it. We just closed above this resistance. So this is breaking out again. There's analyst targets on SanDisk to go to 1800. I'm not trying to get anyone to get too excited here, but I'm going to go long on this probably next week, but I would like this closed. It's an expansion candle. I actually was in SanDisk after earnings and I sold it. I shouldn't have sold it. I was up like 5% before the bell. I was worried it was going to pull back, but it actually just ripped. And then it closed with a bald candle. So this is a buyer's candle. This will go higher next week. You want to probably, if we get a little dip to 1160, I'm going to be getting in on that. So I'm actually going to raise in real time with you guys, I'm going to raise my buy alert and I'm going to get into SNXX shares and take this up. We're probably looking at, here to here. I don't know. I'm not going to do a fib extension. I'll do a fib extension. Why not? Swing low. I guess this is the swing low, the swing high. We've got a lot of room. See, even at the one, we've got the 1864. But, more realistic, we could get to 1350. That would be my first target. As long as the market stays bullish, which I think it will next week. That's my input, guys. Hopefully this video was useful. The area of divergence is we've got a bullish market, but Nvidia is looking a little sketchy. It's looking a little bit Microsoft circa end of last year. So just be mindful of that. The neckline is 164 on Nvidia. So if we really break 197, we could have a pretty bad flush. And then if we break the neckline, I mean, it goes to 120. So that seems a little far-fetched, even for me as a perma bear. I don't really see that with how the market is. So we got to watch the candles next week. We need a strong fight back from Nvidia. Like we got to almost get above 210 next week to invalidate some of these candles. So that's on my radar. Much love, everyone. We're going to be doing Money Mike and I, one of the other crown traders, the OG crown trader in Stocks with Josh. We're going to be doing a stream together Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. Mike's hosting it. I'm going to be tuning in with them as his privileged guest. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you guys will tune in on that as well. And then we will see you Monday morning when the market reopens. Get excited, and we'll see you soon.